So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So yeah, some people have been asking me just to talk a bit about Kizuna, like what do I think about the mode, what do I think about the super bosses, stuff like that. So yeah, since the first super boss in a long time on Global just ended, I thought I'd share my views. And as I write here, like I've been critical of Kizuna in the past. I've been a bit extra critical since I feel like Kizuna has got away with not a lot of criticism, and I just don't understand it. While a mode with a lot better rewards like Treasure Map gets constantly slammed by everyone. So I've been probably a bit too much critical, but yeah, I do feel like Kizuna is in a much better place now, and I'll go through why I think that in a bit. But it's still not quite there yet for me to be completely satisfied. But I don't think we're far away from Kizuna to be a really good mode, so that's pretty cool at least. So yeah, let's go through some pros and cons. And yeah, the first pro, this made a big personal difference for me, is the try 100 times button like before. We just had a try one time and 10 times button, but finally we can just do 100 pulls at a time, and this is such a big deal. Like, the way I've called it before is it's like a second grind. Like, first you grind for the tickets, and then you do a grind to use the tickets to get the rewards you have earned. And it was so dumb. And like the hype, quotation mark, Kizunas of the past, like Team Kizuna, Super Boss Kizuna, they always gave you a lot of tickets, and it was such a nightmare to use them. And yeah, that's finally gone. Uh, at the same time, we've had some really hot takes about this, like how this is a useless feature now when you can't do zombie teams anymore, like Global skipped Super Boss, Big Mom, so now we don't really need this button, and I'm like, yeah, if you're a masochist, like sure, keep using the try 10 times button if you want. For the rest of us, our lives just improved a lot by this button. But yeah, another cool thing with Wonderpool is that it's like a pretty good middle way. Like they could have had like I just pull everything you can, but with Thunderpool it still goes fast and you can still reset. Like if you just want slot bind tablets, you can just do Wonderpools. You see a slot bind, you can reset stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this solution, and this is just not an issue anymore. Very good. Second pro, rewards are getting better. Note that I'm not saying they are good, I'm saying they're getting better. But at least it's on the point now where it's very much worth to play this mode. So yeah, even if it's not Super Boss Kizuna, like you can expect a new 6 Plus Legend, and you can expect a good free-to-play unit. And for Super Boss Kizuna it gets even better because the free-to-play unit turns into a very strong 5 plus unit, and like every 5 plus Kizuna unit so far has been a top tier free to play unit. So that's very promising, and it's like one of the more exciting aspects of Super Boss Kizuna. Another good part of Super Boss is that you get a lot of basically free tickets. You can finish box 7 a lot of times very easily. So this gives a lot of extra rewards, even if it's mainly the older tablets and cotton candy. Moving on. Uh, Another big pro, and this has always been a pro with Kizuna, it's that it's a low effort game mode. And I'm sure some will watch this video and very much disagree and think that Kizuna is very grindy. But if you think like that, I have to say that you probably played the mode wrong. I go into it a bit here, but I've been thinking for a while to make a how to play Kizuna video. Maybe before next Kizuna, we'll see. I always end up not being bothered, but I'll do it sometime. But let's go into it a bit why Kizuna is low effort. Basically, you don't really need to you really don't need to play Kizuna much. And like Super Boss is even less effort, really. Basically, you just bring your as high boost as you can, you go into a battle, always the highest difficulty, you forfeit, and let others beat it for you. It's important here to start early, of course, because if you start like a day late and you're at level 1, the people won't be as bothered to do your assists. But yeah, basically, for normal Kizunas at least, you can just focus on doing assists instead of your own battles, and of course for Super Boss, assist is not as important. Maybe you do a few just for the team rewards, but otherwise you get enough from Super Boss, you just do Super Boss. And like Super Boss is not even that big of a deal because we don't get a lot of Super Boss currency, so it's not like we can farm Super Boss a lot. So yeah, there's just not a lot of need to play this mode a lot. Like the effort I put into Kizuna and Treasure Map is like night and day. Then we have the whole issue of Kizuna potions and how rare they are, and you can't just spend them willy-nilly, which is an issue I don't really take up here, but like, if the bigger issues with Kizuna is fixed, we can start talking about that in the future. But yeah, let's go into the cons. And we start with the biggest one for me, and it's the rewards. They are still lacking, they have got better. I've gone through the positives with the rewards, now we'll go into the negatives. And the big negative here, as a long-term player with very good box in terms of resources and everything, like Kizuna basically ends once you got the like 6+, the free-to-play unit, stuff like that, because box 7 really has little to no value. Like, it only has the old tablets that have been around for years, and people like me have several hundreds of them, and we just don't care about getting more. What we don't have, though, is a lot of hunger tablets, fear tablets, shipbind tablets, all the other new tablets. So if we could farm for them instead, that would be a big game changer. Like, going through box 7 a few times could give like 10+ of each, and that's huge. Getting extra, like suddenly you can actually use those tablets and not just save them for like worst case scenarios you actually need them, kind of thing. Another change I like is to get even more cotton candy. You actually get a decent amount from Kizuna, but I feel like it should be a bit more noticeable about getting cotton candy. So I'm not talking about a huge buff, but still a buff. Get a bit more cotton candy for every box 7 you do. Those two changes, and I think like Kizuna will be fine. It will be the mode you farm for any tablet and cotton candy, and then Treasure Map can mainly be limit break materials and stuff like that. The next con, let's focus a bit on the Super Boss, because I think Super Boss is the main good part of Kizuna. Like normal boss, bit more boring, takes a bit more effort, stuff like that. But yeah, let's talk a bit about the Super Boss HP scaling. And this table here is basically level 29 to 39 of the Super Boss, and just look at that scaling, it's insane. Like suddenly at 29 Super Boss is pretty fun. Takes a few runs, you can cooperate, work together, take it down, feels like a good achievement to do it. And then suddenly 10 levels later, 39, Super Boss is an absolute slog, basically not worth playing. You have to go through several potions just to put a dent into the boss, and yeah, basically we have 10 levels here where the Super Boss goes from pretty funny to basically dead. And it just ruins the experience a lot with the Super Boss, I must say. And yeah, I do feel like they need to revamp the HP scaling. Like, it needs to be delayed a bit when we get to high HP. And I see no reasons to have level 34 be 100 billion and then not 39 be double that. Like, that's insane scaling. They really need to tone this down. Like, might as well start a bit higher at the base and then have the scaling be lower, something like that. Something needs to be changed though, otherwise like Super Boss basically ends closely after level 35. That's just how it is. And yeah, this also stops rewards because like even if rewards got good, there's like a hard limit to how much you can farm without whaling for potions and such. And I will really recommend whaling for potions. That's a super bad deal in general for anyone but the biggest whale. Finally, we have the rampant cheating going on. It's been really bad, especially this Kizuna. And basically what we talked about before with the HP scaling of Super Boss, like it's just designed for cheating to be a big deal. And especially this Kizuna on Global was insane. I'm not going to say any number, but like out of the top 100, a lot of those teams are cheaters. And basically the way it works is that because we have a hard cap, quotation marks, around that level 40 something, like any run after level 40 has an insane impact of points. So if any team has one cheater and does a few cheated runs about level 40, like your team just skyrockets in ranking, and like it doesn't really matter what others do because you aren't going to be beating those high levels very frequently. Like it takes insane teamwork and an insane amount of potions to get anywhere there, and then we have cheaters who can just like press a button and win basically, so you can't really compete with that. It does seem though that we've had a big ban wave, quotation marks, today, and a lot of the cheating teams have been punished, and like I do feel bad for the people who don't cheat. Like I know some teams are like dedicated cheater teams. They have several like teams that are set that the other team members have made to take the fall, so they cheat with filler teams that have probably been farming Kizuna Pass for a long time, and then they just cheat with those teams, and if something goes wrong and you get detected, then these filler teams take the blame and the actual cheaters goes unpunished. But then we also have like the rogue cheaters who just are on a team, they themselves just decide to cheat, and then the whole alliance is basically screwed over by that. And I do feel bad for those, but it's really hard to deal with this, and there's really no good solution that I can come to mind, except for just punishing the cheaters. And it seems like Banner are doing this. We had a lot of punished cheaters already. I've never really seen anything like this on Global. We're talking several dozen cheaters punished so far. We don't know if they're done yet. Like, we can assume they're done when we get the rewards, which we haven't got yet when I make this video, but yeah. It's at least promising, and I know, like I made a video about the trash map on, not the trash map, but the Blitz on JP and the cheating there. A lot of big name YouTubers were upset. I've seen the same thing with this Kizuna, like the cheating on JP is not as bad as on Global, but it's still worse than ever on JP. And people are starting to notice, and that's good for us, because if JP players push Bandai about this will have the drop down effect on Global, since JP is the main thing that Bandai cares about in the end. But yeah, that's some pros and cons of Kizuna. Let me know what you think below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.